may have two big questions. First, what happens if the cell doesn't meet the requirements of the checkpoint? And second, what is doing the regulating of this cycle anyway? To address the first question, if the reason the cell can't go past the checkpoint is a reason that can be fixed, the cell may kind of pause here until it can fix that issue. But if it can't be fixed, then the cell does something called apoptosis, which basically means the cell self-destructs. This ensures that a cell that is damaged beyond repair will not go on to divide. So what is doing the regulating anyway? We've mentioned before that proteins are a big deal. Genes in your body can code for proteins that do an assortment of functions, and there are many proteins involved with regulating the cell cycle. Some of them are positive regulators because they allow moving forward in the cycle, and some are negative regulators that might make things stop. The proteins themselves can be sensitive to cues inside and outside of the cell. So, for example, two proteins that are involved in positive regulation are cyclin and CDK. CDK is specifically an enzyme protein, a fancy kind called a kinase, which is worth a Google. CDK can have different forms of cyclin protein bound to it. Different types of cyclin rise and fall throughout the cell cycle, and the rising and falling is based on a variety of signals to determine when the cell should move on to the next cell cycle phase. Typically, each cell cycle phase, G1, S, G2, M, will tend to have a different cyclin binding with the CDK. The rise and fall of cyclin types and the role CDK has when it's active is a fascinating subject to explore. Remember that vocabulary word we said, apoptosis?